everybody, and welcome to another episode of Spring Fever. As always, it is me, XFL Jim, joined by the one, the only. It is Uncle Rico. What's up, Eric?
Nothing much, man. What's going on, my friend?
Not a ton. Enjoying life, enjoying the preseason, seeing all my XFL and USFL boys shine, enjoying the CFL. It's a good time to be alive. Eric, we're doing a late one tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'm visiting family. I was on. You haven't lived. You've taken a 10 and a 8-year-old to a movie before at night. You haven't lived.
What movie did you see?
Oh my god, I don't even know what movie we saw, dude. I don't even remember.
Life is a blur at the moment.
Dude, I was just trying to make sure everyone didn't. There was no fights. We all stayed together. It's definitely a different viewing experience when you take kids to a movie, dude.
That's for sure. I've done a couple babysitting ventures where I had to wrestle some kids around.
What movie did we see? Oh, we saw Blue Beetle.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Not one I would have picked, but I guess that's a good one for kids.
So it was okay.
Yeah. We'll stick with...
I'm not going to lie. I don't remember one thing about it.
You know what I do remember? I remember my boys, the XFL and USFL, killing it, slinging it. It's preseason. Let's talk about it a little bit. So, Chase was letting me know, and I found out, a little kicker by the name of Brandon Aubrey, Eric. You might have heard of him. He was kicking for the Stallions a little bit. He's the only kicker now that Dallas has listed.
I think he's. I don't think they're going to bring back the guy from last year after what happened in the.
They're not going to bring back my boy Brett Maher.
No, so I think it's his job. I think that's a guarantee.
From soccer team at Notre Dame to kicking for the Dallas Cowboys.
But here's the thing: you and I talk about it all the time. There's not many good kickers in the league, dude. When you think about it. And
what, 4?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's one.
I mean, Tucker's only the only great one.
I mean, I think there's Tucker, and that's it. I mean, Elliott had 2 good years. Harrison Barter, the guy from Kansas City, can't make an extra point.
Who's the guy on the Bengals?
He missed a couple chip shots last year.
That's right. Damn it. There's really only one great kicker.
There's only one reliable kicker. I mean, I made this statement a couple of years ago how the CFL has kickers, I feel, that could kick in the NFL. I feel kind of in the special teams game, especially with the kicker, once you get in the CFL, you're just kind of there. There's not much up or down.
It's a reliable paycheck.
And speaking of CFL, dude, we got to give Rourke some kudos, dude, for looking pretty good, dude. Pretty good for the Jags.
I mean, Nathan Rourke is a known quantity. He's good.
Yeah,
he's real good. And I think the NFL network tweeted out something about Nathan Rourke. They called him from receiver to quarterback, and I was like, no, he has never played receiver. He played receiver for 1 week at a Giants training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Rourke is just good.
He's a football player, and he's gonna beat.
You think he could be a backup?
Oh, for sure.
I think so. I think so too. I'm happy for the guy. I'm happy he's making that money. I never want to pray for injury, but I'd love to see Nathan Rourke get a start. Just one game.
I would take him over CJ Beathard.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, right now that's who's listed as the backup. Yeah, and works the third string.
Well, they have the new rule that you can take 3 quarterbacks.
So
I'd take Rourke over him too. But Eric, we have XFL and USFL guys. It's preseason time. It's time for these boys to shine. To just start off mentioning, shout out the XFL in general. They got 50 players signed.
Which is absurd.
It's bananas. USFL has about 34, but the Birmingham Stallions did pass the San Antonio Commanders. They actually hold the record now for most signees from a single spring league team.
Which is absurd. Props to them.
They've had a lot. They've had a ton. I read a couple articles, by the way. Shout out USFL and XFL Newsroom, Pro Football Newsroom. Nicholas Thorne is the author of these articles. He did a sort of like stock grade of the guys who stock went up versus stock went down. I'm just going to throw out some names for you, Eric, and then he has a little bit of stats for him. But Austin Watkins, XFL. We'll start with the USFL. Austin Watkins on the Browns. I mean, just anytime you get a touchdown, big moves. Love seeing that. Edge Levi Bell, Seahawks. He actually graded pretty good as a, like, okay, so Levi Bell, he kind of like has that linebacker frame.
Yeah.
He's not really like just a rush edge. So he played some really good special teams too. He's going to get some shots. I like it. Maurice Alexander looked good. And then some stock down guys he had. Number one was Alex Magoo. Didn't really get a shot, only had 7 plays, but he also had a fumble.
Yeah, anytime you get in there and you can't hold on to the rock, it's never a good look, man.
It's tough because everyone was saying, like, with how good Magoo looked this year in the USFL, but preseason you only get so many opportunities.
Yeah, and plus, like, how can I word this? He's playing for something now. At the USFL, he knew he was the dude. Now he's kind of playing for something. The pressure's on.
Yeah, he's playing. He needs that backup spot, and he could make it. That's the thing. Like he could.
Oh,
it's him or who? It's him or what? It's
Sean Clifford.
I think he's better than Sean Clifford.
Man, I don't know. I mean,
maybe I'm blinded by like Sean Clifford's whole tenure at Penn State was just kind of to me.
But they could go with Clifford because they look at Clifford as a young guy coming in from college. That's
the other factor too. That's the other factor too. Jay Sternberger, tight end for the Stallions. Also, he's on the Bills right now. Also with a fumble. Had a great catch, but fumbled the ball. Can't do that. That's like the one thing you can't do.
You have to hold on to the rock when you're out there.
That's absolutely the one thing these guys can't be doing is fumbling. That's like the one thing they're going to really get after for.
Yeah.
Also, just like USFL of days past, Kevontae Turpin not looking great either. Also with a fumble.
You can't be careless with the ball, especially when you play with these coaches that are pretty stern.
And he was an All-Pro last year.
Yeah.
XFL guys, stock up. Ben DiNucci looked actually pretty good for the Broncos. I think he's got the backup spot. I think DiNucci's going to be the guy as the backup.
You think they're going to give it to DiNucci?
Well, it's him or Stidham. I think DiNucci looked better than Stidham. The age is there. I get it.
I don't know. Stidham. People like Stidham because Belichick liked him.
What's he done ever, though?
He's done nothing. But people like him because Belichick liked him.
I don't know. I'd go DiNucci, but I'm biased.
I would too. But again, people like him because Belichick liked him.
Bruce Hector also looked good. He wasn't. He played a little bit for the Renegades. A lot of the guys that looked good are on the lines, like the defensive lines, which is really, I think that's a really good thing for both the USFL and XFL.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. I mean, I think like once you get that trenches, it shows these guys like, hey, if I don't make it, I could go here, get the reps, get everything I need, then I can get a shot to make it in the league.
Exactly. Stock down guys in the XFL, and it pains me to say his name, Eric, because guess what? He didn't fumble, but he had some pretty bad drops, and we talked about that in the XFL. Who do you think I'm talking about?
God, no idea.
He played for the Battlehawks. He's on the Steelers. We said he had great prospects, but his issue was drops. It's Hakeem Butler.
Yeah, Butler.
Yep.
And I mean, that Steelers depth chart's pretty tight, man.
He could be like maybe a rotation guy, but his issue is and always has been drops. He's got like the frame of a great receiver, but he just keeps dropping the damn ball.
I mean, if you're looking at it, dude, I mean, they got Robinson Pickens, Deontay Johnson,
Is
Miles
good.
Boykins, um, Cody White from Michigan State, who's good. Calvin Austin, the kid from Memphis, they just drafted, and then Akeem Butler. So he'd be seventh on the depth chart, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if Pittsburgh's like the right spot for him. I wonder if he might get sent to another team or whatever.
Yeah, who knows? Like there could be injuries or something.
Yeah. I think my main takeaway is I like that a lot of the guys that are looking good are like the big nasties up front. It's the core, it's the line.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those guys are looking good, and that's such a hard thing to develop. And if you can show that you could develop that position, guess what? We're sticking around, boys. We got a long future ahead of us.
Especially like, I mean, I know you hate the term developmental league and minor league, and I know you're pretty adamant about that. But
I am adamant about it.
if the reality of the situation is like what you just said, your statement about that being a hard position to develop. If we see this over the next couple of years, that these players go to these leagues and develop inside the trenches, then the NFL is going to, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Eric, inside me there are two lions fighting out for supremacy. I hate the term developmental and minor league, but I also realize that in order for these leagues to succeed, you got to be putting players in the NFL.
Yeah, because if you're not, there's no point.
Yeah.
So
unless in some fantasy magic land that doesn't exist, sometime in the forever future, if there was ever a shot that you could compete salary wise, that's the only way you could do it. And in my mind, you don't even need to compete salary wise with like the actual NFL. These leagues, in my opinion, would just need to compete salary wise with like the practice squad.
yeah, and I mean, and who knows? Like we see what's going on. We see what happened with golf, with the Live Tour. We see what happened with soccer. Maybe it gets to the point where we see like
the NFL. If the NFL buys out either of these leagues, then I'm pissed.
I don't think the NFL would buy them out.
I don't think so either. I think they would find a balance.
They'd want to find a partnership. They want to support it, and I really feel like everyone makes a big deal about viewership and viewership numbers. If a league was to get the backing of the NFL, that would do nothing but help its viewership.
Oh, agreed. And then I feel like the big thing is if it's just a partnership and backing, then you keep both these leagues push the innovation factor, which I think is a big fun part of it. That's the reason I like it a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
Other bit of news regarding USFL. It looks like there's some rumblings of a potential merchandise partnership, which Eric, I know you're not like super involved in the community. USFL merch has been needing this. It's been lacking. XFL merch could use something like this too. So USFL might be partnering with Starters. And for those of you who don't know, Starters are the people who did all the merch for the AAF back in the day, back in 2019. The Starter jackets were some of the sickest merch I've ever seen, dude. And it's so good.
Yeah. And then you can market it in stores, which would be big. You'd get that stuff in there.
I do have to say, top comment, Eric, on the news that I said, it was Royal Retros being like, hey, what the fuck?
Really?
Well, yeah, they already do. They already carry USFL merch. Shout out Royal Retros, by the way. Yeah. Use promo code Spring Fever, all caps, at checkout, and you get 10% off.
Yep.
That's me being a bad promo boy. Make sure you do it. It helps the show, folks. It helps the show. But yeah, so the USFL might be getting a little partnership going, which is good for the league. Maybe you get a bidding war going on.
Yeah.
Eric, it's time to move to the league up north. We got a little CFL action going on. We got week 10 to recap and then week 11 to pick. The recap, game number 1. Winnipeg 38, Edmonton 29.
Okay.
Oh my
Oh my god.
So dude. Zach Collaros goes down early for Winnipeg. Edmonton they start the Canadian, they start the boy, Trey Ford, who, for a good chunk of the game, for especially the first quarter and first half, looked really good.
Really, really good.
I think they got a guy in Trey Ford they can kind of trust.
Yes.
They just this is classic Edmonton. They were up at half. They were up 22-10. And what do they do but give up 14-7 in the third, 14-0 in the fourth, lose 38-29. Didn't even cover.
Yeah, they did. The spread was 12.
Oh, it was 12. That's right. That's right.
But you know what? They covered that first half, got the 7. That's all we
Covered
need.
the first half. Should have taken them first half money line.
And I'll be honest, dude. Like, and you kind of mentioned it in your summary. Them not winning that game is just pure Edmonton. You caught Winnipeg in the spot of spots. You get up 21-0. Their starting quarterback goes down. You have all the momentum going into the locker room. And yet you still figure out a way to win. It's a way to lose, excuse me. That game right there kind of subbed up Edmonton in a nutshell.
It really did, especially with it being at home. And you
like,
could feel it. You could feel it in the air. You saw it on people's faces when they would pan to the crowd. The announcers were talking about it. It's like, we've been here before. What's going to happen? Something's going to happen. They continue the home losing streak. It's brutal.
I hate how can I word it? So, like, I'm a Lions fan. Like, when the Lions were there and they brought in Quinn and Patricia, they brought in that type of system with those guys. It was a complete and utter hard reset. You had to bring a guy in there, little Corky and Dan Campbell, new GM, the president, like basically everything in the football room was completely wiped clean.
Yeah, you kind of like demolished it all.
This is what Edmonton kind of needs to do. They need to get like a quirky offensive line tight end coach to kind of come in there. Someone that kind of thinks outside the box, not even thinks outside the box, just can relate to the players, get a new GM, new person in charge. They just need to do a complete hard reset because it's not like, how can I word this poetically? The CFL doesn't bring in as much money, so these franchises can't dick around.
I agree. And especially a franchise like Edmonton that does have a pretty dedicated fan base. The fact that, like, one of your potential more dedicated fan bases hasn't had a home win in goddamn almost 4 years is brutal. I don't know, dude. I would be devastated. And just every time you're just waiting for the ball to drop and your team to lose.
How much do you think Edmonton Elks' net worth is?
Oh. It's got to be in the tens of millions at least. You looking it up?
I just Googled it. This site says 3.43. Compared to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 15.6.
I mean, yeah, Winnipeg, obviously. When you have a history of winning like that, it does it. Eric.
Sorry, I'm looking up one more team. I'm going to look up Toronto.
Look up Hamilton. Toronto can't have much.
16.2.
Damn, Toronto? That's that market. What's Hamilton got? Shout out Google. What are we seeing?
There's no way.
What?
There's no way.
What is it saying?
This one says $748. CFL franchises values. Here we go. I'm going to a different website.
I see 50.
That says 50 for them.
Yeah. which makes sense because they are like they are the most dedicated fan base I've seen.
But so it just leads more. I mean, if Edmonton just completely hits a reset and just goes for it, I mean, that's what those cats need to do, man.
Agreed. Agreed. Game number 2, Eric. Our Rough Riders 12, Alouettes 41. We said who were the Alouettes to be.
I'm not gonna lie. My big thing is I was gonna take Cody Fajardo, passing yards over. Guy got ruled out 30 minutes before the kickoff.
Yep, it was Caleb Evans out there.
Boom. So with that being said, guess what I didn't do?
That.
I didn't watch this game.
I think this doesn't really show us anything because both teams are kind of like, I don't know what Saskatchewan's doing at quarterback right now. They played both Jake Dolagala and Mason Fine. Montreal, obviously, with Fajardo out, Caleb Evans was in. He was whatever. The only takeaway I have is I feel like just in my mind, this just cements Montreal as the benchmark team, and Saskatchewan's a bad team, and Montreal beats bad teams, and they cover against bad teams.
That's all they do, dude.
That's all they do. They'll beat and cover against bad teams. That's what I took away from that. Game number 3, Calgary 9, BC 37. Guess what? Vernon Adams back. Guess what? Vernon Adams still really, really, really good.
I mean,
He went 23 for 32, 322, 4 touchdowns. Coming back off injury.
we say it all the time, dude.
He's so good, dude.
What do we say? The sports books aren't our friends. The sports book were our friends with them only laying 6.5, dude.
The sports books were also my friends. I sweated it out a little bit, but I did get the under.
Jeez, dude.
I think I got it by the hook. I think it was 46.5.
Oh, Jimbo, dude. God bless you, man.
Yes, sir. I mean, I think with Vernon Adams and a healthy Vernon Adams, I really think BC could win the whole thing. Easily.
Oh, more than likely,
Easily.
yeah. I mean, they could easily win it. I mean, he's slinging, dude.
He's slanging. Red Blacks 31, Argonauts 44. Did Dustin Crum just get good? Like, what happened?
I mean, I think he's running the ball more. I mean, that's
he is, but he's throwing it like I don't know, man. This is just a weird stretch.
Dumb down the playbook for him. I mean, they give him 1 or 2 reads and tell him just to run. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. They were competitive. It was a fun game.
I think like how can I word this? You can't do that. The
For a
more
season.
film, the more film that comes on.
Yeah, you can't do it for a whole season.
Yeah.
Swag Kelly, 21-28, 417, 4 touchdowns and an INT.
I mean, dude, he's
balling when he needs to.
he's seeing it, dude.
He's seeing the board. He's seeing the board of the CFL. Eric, with this week 11, I believe we are officially in the halfway point. We got Labor Day Classics coming up in a few weeks. We've only got 11 weeks left, if you count week 11.
Which is absolutely crazy to me.
We're here, Eric. You ready to pick some games?
You know, I'm going to do my best, dude.
I'm thinking next week, little CFL Jim might actually produce a little video for a halfway point recap, kind of like State of the Union address. Little State of the League. Game number 1, Eric. Edmonton Elks versus the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Tiger Cats are laying 5.5 at home, over under of 44, plus 185 on the money line for the Elks.
Part of me, I mean, I'm not going to touch the full side. Part of me says take the Elks first half. But another part of me is like, look, dude, like you just lose a game like that.
Yeah, but the Elks lose games like that all the time.
Not being up 21-0 against the best team in the league.
No, they've done that. They have done that.
But I'm talking about.
I get it. The mental anguish. I'm gonna bet the under 44.
And you got Hamilton coming off a bye.
I'm betting the under 44.
Yeah, I mean, like if I were to bet, that'd be it. I'm
doing it. This is a Trey Lance second start. I like the Hamilton defense. Yeah, I'm gonna take the under 44 in this one. That's my only bet in this game. Bombers Stampeders. Bombers laying 6 on the road, over under 47.5. I don't know what's up with the Stamps, dude. I kind of want to take the Bombers here. But, again,
I
the
kind of want to
comeback.
keep the Stamps for the first half. What's going on with the Bombers quarterback?
Yeah, the fluky victory. I don't really want to touch this one at all.
What's going on with the Bombers quarterback?
Let's see what Zach Collaros' status is. Let's see what's up. Questionable. As of 6 hours ago. Questionable.
So your mindset is better as this. If
He's probably not playing. He's probably against a team like Calgary. That's the way Calgary's been playing. I'd leave him out.
So then I'd probably lean Calgary, but you know what? I feel I'm doing pretty good betting the CFL, being ultra disciplined, and that's one mistake here. I'm not gonna force anything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch anything here. I would maybe. Let me take a look at something real quick. Let me take a look at some past stats. So 29, 14. I was thinking maybe a team total, but I don't really want to touch anything with this game, if I'm being honest. I'm with you here. Game number 3, Montreal Alouettes, Ottawa Red Blacks. Montreal laying 2.5 on the road to the Red Blacks, over under 47.5, plus 125 on the money line. This feels like a trap, Eric.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be on Crumb, and I'm gonna hate myself for doing it.
I'm gonna bet the money line. I'm gonna take Ottawa on the money line.
I'm gonna be on Crumb.
No, wait, never mind. I forgot. I was thinking Stampeders. No, I don't. Give me Montreal.
Really?
Yep. Ottawa's a bad team. This is me. This is my XFL, CFL, USFL gym brain. Not overthinking it. This is my analysis. Montreal's playing a bad team. What do? They win and they cover. Give me Montreal minus 2.5. I'm not overthinking it.
Give me Ottawa.
Not gonna overthink it.
Give me Ottawa plus the points, man.
Okay. This is we're against each other here. Last game of the weekend, Eric. BC, Saskatchewan. BC minus 10 on the road, over under 45, plus 325 on the money line. Honestly, I think BC could cover this easily.
I think they cover it easily, too.
I'm going to take them. Screw it. I'm going to take BC minus 10. I think Saskatchewan's in like a rough sorts right now. I'm going to do it.
All right, hold on. Let me look at something here. Oops. Let me look at something here. Let me see what I can find here. I'm going to take Vernon Adams over 260.5 yards passing.
Ooh. I like it.
How do you like that, my friend?
I'm looking something up too real quick. I do like that quite a bit. Come on. That was August 8th. That was last week. Give me this week. Bigger shout out Jim for 400 subs. Well deserved. Eric, thanks for the Phillies pick today.
2 goats, dude. Phillies.
2 goats.
Phillies got it done for the kid, dude.
Okay, actually, Eric, I'm going to circle back around. Wait, that was the 11th? That was, how many days ago was that? Never mind. That was last week. I'm trying to find the status on Cody Fajardo right now. I'm getting nothing current. Son of a bitch. Looks like he's still game time decision, so I don't know. I'm still just not overthinking it. Can't overthink it. Not going to let that happen to me.
You're so soft, Jim.
I am taking BC minus 10.
You're soft, man.
I'm taking BC minus 10. Eric, a little bit of other leagues. 2 other leagues we got to talk about before we dip out today. So the Indoor Football League, we didn't have a show last week, so I didn't get to celebrate the beauty that was the IFL Championship game. Honestly, I'm going to come out. We're going to call this a little confessional. Before this year, didn't watch a lick of IFL. Didn't watch none of it. Didn't watch very much of it this season at all, but I got into it for the playoffs. Eric, those games are fun.
Fun games. Huh?
They're fun to watch. They're very entertaining. And at least the playoffs, almost every game came down to the wire.
Well, fun, entertaining, dramatic, high scoring. I mean, like, what's there not
And
to like?
in certain states, like the one that you're in, you can even bet on them.
Well, I'm not in that state now, but
Like the one that you usually reside in.
yes, my home state. You can usually bet on them.
So the outcome, of course, Sioux Falls Storm, the storybook ending did not happen. They lose 41-51 to the Bay Area Panthers, who the year prior was like the worst team in the league. So quick turnaround. They were bad last year. Bay Area was bad last year.
Worst to first, you gotta love it, dude.
Sioux Falls, though, the new chapter begins. It was a fun run. It was a good run. Eric, I have a goal next year. I want you to like maybe bring me back down to earth and make me a little bit more realistic. I want to go to an XFL game, a USFL game, a CFL game, and an IFL game next year, all within the year.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with that, man. Shoot or shoot, Jim. I think you should go.
So I can make the XFL game. It's the easiest ones to go to are either St. Louis, Dallas, or Vegas. USFL, the easiest ones to go to would probably be Memphis. I think that's the closest one. I guess Detroit.
Go to Memphis, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to go to I think Memphis would be the spot. And then IFL, they're basically the same distance. It's either Des Moines or Sioux Falls, and I think I'd rather go to Sioux Falls.
Okay.
And then CFL, I don't know which one I want to go to. Hamilton was a beautiful, fun experience. I might want to go to another Hamilton game.
Yeah, dude, I totally forgot you guys went up there for that.
Yeah, it was sick. But also, I don't know, something about going to Toronto would be fun too. Or like Saskatchewan. I've never been to Regina.
You never been to where?
Regina. It's where the Rough Riders play.
I thought it's something else.
Regina.
Well,
But shout out Sioux Falls. Shout out the Indoor Football League. It's fun. So if you guys can find if I ever am able to access lines to the IFL, that's coming on. That's becoming a part of it. This show, Eric. We're betting on the IFL. It's happening.
Just another thing I'm gonna have to dive my head into, my friend.
I'm sorry that I make you work so hard, Eric. I'm sorry.
So for you, I'll do it, Jimbo.
Eric, last segment of the day, ELF. Right now we're in week 12. There's only about 6 to 8 weeks left to go. Just pick up straight winners. Berlin Thunder at Panthers Reclaw.
Berlin.
I'm also on Berlin. Fehevar Enthroners at the Prague Lions. I mean, Enthroners is such a sick name. I always got to root for them. Give me the Enthroners.
I'll take the home dog.
You'll take the Prague Lions?
Yeah.
We've got the Raiders trio at the Vienna Vikings. I'm going with the Raiders.
I'll go with the Raiders, too.
We've got the Stuttgart Sugar Skulls versus the Barcelona Dragons. I'm breathing fire. Give me them Dragons.
I agree.
The Milano Seamen at the Frankfurt Galaxy. Spray them semen on me.
Oh, dude, I fucking love you, buddy.
You going with the Galaxy on this one, or are you backing the Seamen?
I'll take the Seamen.
Well, let's gargle that shit. Paris Musketeers at the Hamburg Sea Devils. Rooting with the Sea Devils. I think the Musketeers win, but I'm going to root with the Sea Devils.
I'll take the Sea Devils, too.
Last game, Eric, it is the Rainfire at the Munich Ravens. Rainfire's the best team in the league. Give me the Rainfire.
Yep.
Eric, this has been Spring Fever. Is there anything you'd like to shout out on this show, sir?
Check out my podcast that comes out later in the week. Talking everything. CFL, fantasy football, NASCAR, the whole 9 yards, man.
I would like to shout out. This is if you're watching this live, tune in tomorrow because guess what, folks? It's the return of Chef Jim. Cooking with Jim is back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central. Cooking a nice little salmon dish. And if you're listening to this later, go back and check out Cooking with Jim.
What are you gonna Do I get any teas with the salmon? How you're
There
prepping
is
it?
a wine sauce involved. A little Pinot Noir wine sauce.
Jim, did I ever tell you the story? Like this was like years ago. I had this thing for this young lady, and I made this salmon with like pesto and tomato and cherry tomatoes on it.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, she was allergic to the tomatoes. She couldn't have
That's
tomatoes.
brutal. That's
Yeah.
brutal.
Yep. Awesome time.
I almost made my special lady friend shrimp scampi. Then she told me she was deathly allergic to shellfish.
Definitely.
Yeah, like needs an EpiPen stat. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Head over to Royal Retros. Use promo code SpringFever for 10% off. They got some sick, sick merch. It's awesome. It's really
They
good
got some
stuff, people.
solid stuff. It's definitely to check it out.
They got some fire stuff. Thank you all. We'll see you next week for another episode of Spring Fever. Bye-bye.